Hi, I'm Mario Mancini, former WWE wrestler, and first inductee into the 2014 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. When I want my wrestling news, I watch the Squared Circle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 13th, 2014. I'm your host, Hollywood J. Williams.
John Zimmerman, once again.
Once again, Thunderous Tom Basie is not with us this evening. Don't know what's going on. He kind of bears resemblance to Daniel Bryan. I mean, I hope the Whites weren't in town at all.
I'm really not sure.
Yeah.
We're waiting to hear from Mr. Dacey. I hope he's well. You know, it just seems a lot of abductions going on. You know, you got abducted.
I know.
Now Mr. Dacey's missing.
I was abducted. I was poisoned.
Yeah, I'm getting a little nervous for myself. It just seems like it may be my turn coming up real soon.
I don't know. Watch out. They ship you off to Turkey and put you in one of those prisons. Yeah, I mean, don't get so desperate where you have to eat the rats.
Oh.
But anyway, we have a lot to talk about here on the Squared Circle. A lot to talk about tonight.
Absolutely.
A lot. Did anybody watch WWE.com on Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m.?
I know I did.
I definitely did. Perhaps the biggest announcement they've ever made, the announcement to end all announcements. Like, if you didn't watch it, you missed out. You probably heard by now. The biggest business venture that Vince McMahon has ever gotten himself into. He's in the top 50 as far as richest men in the world, as far as I know, but this might put him in the top 20. It is the announced launch of the WWE Network. Over-the-top online distribution. It was announced last Wednesday night in Las Vegas at the Consumer Electronics Show. The launch date is effective February 24th, 11:05 p.m., following Monday Night Raw.
Following us.
Which follows us.
Correct.
Right. There is an extremely low price tag. I can't mention the total number, but it's really low. You need to commit yourself to a 6-month deal if you are going to sign up for the service, which is basically comparable to the price of WrestleMania 30. But it's going to be the first pay-per-view. It's going to be the first pay-per-view offering that the WWE Network is going to have, because you know what? They're going to include all 12 pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. The cost that they mentioned at the press conference. If you were to purchase through conventional means, through your cable company or your satellite company, all 12 events, it would cost you about 6 times what it would cost you to subscribe to the WWE Network for a year.
Exactly.
And that cost of the 12 pay-per-views compared to 1/6 the price to subscribe to a 24-hour channel, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Includes all the pay-per-views, includes every past pay-per-view from not only WWE, WCW, and ECW.
ECW as well.
At the outset. And of course, we all know that every territory that Vince bought up, he bought their libraries. And he's been sitting on those libraries for quite a few years now.
He recently just purchased, what was it, Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, and you know, and I can see Stampede Wrestling coming around the corner really soon, because from some of the DVDs that have been put out for the Hart Family Dynasty, the Bret Hart DVD, obviously they've shown a lot of the matches, and Stu Hart did film a lot of what he did up there in Calgary, and he does have a vast library himself, and I'm sure Vince would love to get his hands on that.
Oh, definitely.
And you know, I mean, you're looking at early matches between Bret Hart, Davey Boy Smith, all the members of the Hart family.
Yeah, now that the relationship between Bret Hart and Vince McMahon has changed for the positive over the past few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And also Vince did settle with the Hart family, Owen Hart's wife. They did come to some sort of settlement, which was a private deal. But the Hart family are definitely willing to negotiate for that content. But even that being said, Vince has got content galore that hasn't been seen since it was originally aired. And we've seen a little bit of it throughout the years on the DVD, but nowhere near.
You could go on YouTube and find a lot of stuff. But
yeah, well, I'd imagine that's going to be really put a squash to, because Vince is going to want to control.
Exactly.
And profit from his own material.
Even with YouTube right now, you can only see certain things, certain parts of certain things, but you're going to be able to see everything. There's going to be two facets to this network. 24/7, 365 linear service. It'll be run like a traditional channel with scheduled programming, and the video on demand service, including your tape library content from WCW, ECW, and many other promotions that Vince McMahon has incorporated into his vast empire.
Yes.
The programming lineup is going to initially be centered around, they're going to have pre and post shows for Raw and for SmackDown. Never before seen, you'll be able to go behind the scenes in the locker room of Raw, in the locker room of SmackDown, see what goes on before the cameras roll, see what goes on after the cameras shut off on television. Never seen this before. Thing I'm looking forward to the most would be the WWE Legends House.
Yes, yeah, and that was reported, I believe at least 2 years ago, that they had filmed this and they were sitting on it, and they were negotiating with conventional cable companies to get this network on the air, and it never came to fruition, and we really weren't expecting this announcement on Wednesday, even though we predicted it last week on the show. It was kind of out of left field on how they were going to go about launching this network. And they took the business model of a Netflix going to a streaming service instead of your conventional cable company. And honestly, if this works out, if this turns out to be profitable, which I really predict that it will, you're going to see the beginning of the cable companies folding, because HBO right now shares profit with every cable company across the nation that they deal with. And if HBO decides, just using an example, if HBO decides that they can take their original content and get it directly to the consumer,
whenever the consumer wants it.
Whenever the consumer wants it, and not have to pay the middleman, the cable company, to provide it, they're going to get more of the profit for themselves. Of course, anyone using the streaming service is going to have a company for bandwidth and to actually get it from their content to the stream. And I believe the service that WWE is using for the WWE Network is the same network that Major League Baseball was using.
They did have MLB, whatever, they had that demand in charge of that company at their press conference, closing things out right before John Cena came out.
I mean, they're already a proven entity, and the MLB TV network, the streaming service, you can stream every baseball game live, and then replay on demand, after the game is over. And MLB's doing this for several years now, so they're definitely a proven entity. They have the technology. It's a proven technology already. So Vince isn't dealing with something new. He's not dealing with something that hasn't been tried yet. So the chances are that it's not going to fail. And that would be the only stumbling block, is if on February 24th at 11:05, however many fans initially sign up for this network aren't able to get on. That would be the stumbling block. If there's a successful launch, everybody can get on from that moment, right? Then the sky's the limit.
I don't believe you're allowed to sign up for the network until.
We haven't seen details of that yet. I'd imagine that you're going to be able at some point to sign up prior to the February 24th date.
Right.
Because to have everyone try and sign up on
that might be
at 11:05,
yeah,
that would definitely kill your server.
That might cause a lot of computers to crash everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a good point there.
And I'd imagine on that episode of Raw, that night, we're going to see something explosive happen at 10:59 p.m.
You might see somebody come back or something like that.
You might see somebody come back that looks like this fellow here. But
that's a possibility. I mean, they've been talking about wanting to bring him back.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. I'm not saying. I don't think he's. I think he's a little too old to wrestle, but that's another subject.
But what a way to launch the network.
Absolutely.
I think there's really going to be a cliffhanger on the February 24th episode of Monday Night Raw, which I'm sure we'll talk about between now and then.
They're going to want to have something huge and explosive happen.
Right. They're going to want to make you turn off USA and go right to your internet and get right onto that network to see whatever's going to happen next.
You got to figure that would actually be the first Raw post show.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So Raw will actually continue on the internet.
Yes.
Like we said, but they're going to have like exclusive reality-based programming like Legends House. I'm sure Total Divas will be going to the streaming service as well. WWE Countdown, Monday Night War, which is going to take you through each and every single week for several years there, where Monday Nitro, WCW was going up against WWF at the time, Monday Night Raw. WrestleMania Rewind will take you back to your favorite WrestleMania moments over the last 29 years.
Yes.
All on demand.
Yeah.
You can go. You could watch WrestleMania moments from the past on your cell phone. I mean, this is. I have a much bigger cell phone than this. I'm Hollywood Dave Williams. I mean, somebody must have left their phone here, but
on your, on any device. On your streaming, any device that has Wi-Fi streaming,
your
phone, your tablet,
your Nook, whatever.
Right, I mean, whatever you got, you're going to be able to use it.
Your laptop, and anybody that's wanting to sign up for this, I would recommend going and getting. If you don't have a smart television, try and get one. If you can't afford one, go ahead and.
Well, you're going to be able to use the PS3, PS4, Xbox One.
Right. If you don't have any one of those.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Roku box, which isn't extremely expensive.
No.
And Sony has a unit, and also Apple TV has a box that you can stream content through your television set.
Right. You're going to need something that can go from
from your Wi-Fi to your TV.
Wi-Fi to your television.
And I mean, there are several options. And my point is that the demographic for the WWE primarily is an 11-year-old to 35-year-old male base. And who but an 11-year-old to 35-year-old male base doesn't have your Xbox or your PlayStation? And that's where you're going to be able to stream it right through those gaming devices. And I mean, the demographic, the audience is primarily the same. So it's built in. It's a marriage made in heaven right there.
Absolutely.
You've got, the male demographic who are playing Call of Duty through, online through their Xbox, online through their PlayStation, and they're going to turn off the video game and turn on WWE Network. It is primarily going to be a game changer. If this launch happens in a smooth fashion, we can see other companies or other content providers, such as an HBO, right, such as your Showtime, your Stars,
absolutely,
going over to this business model and not having to share some of their profit with a cable company.
You may see a few years down the road the non-existence of cable or satellite.
Yes, absolutely. Now, last night, the Golden Globe Awards were on, and several awards, several of the shows nominated for awards were Netflix original programming. Orange is the New Black, House of Cards starring Kevin Spacey, a few other shows that are exclusively streamed through Netflix, the non-traditional TV networks. And they're being watched they're getting ratings, and they're being nominated for awards. So the Hollywood Foreign Press, right, and people that are involved in the television and motion picture industry are recognizing.
They're paying attention to this
yes,
new format.
The streaming services, and it's very, very popular. Netflix is running at about the same price point that the WWE network is going to be running at. And it's more a boon to the consumer because you're only paying for the content that you want. Right now with the conventional cable company, you have several tiers in your packaging, which we all know, and you're watching us on cable now, I would assume. And you know, if you get the sports package for primarily football, you're also not just getting football. You're getting soccer. You're getting tennis. You know, I'm not a soccer fan, and not putting it down, but I receive the soccer channel. I never watch it. I'm paying for a service, you know, because I want the football, right, and the MLB network, baseball and football, which I'm a fan of. I'm getting soccer, which I'll never watch. Right. I personally do not speak Spanish, and I get 30 or 40 Spanish stations that I never watch, and only because it's part of the that tiered package program that the cable company.
The provider I have provides me, and I don't watch sports at all.
Yeah.
I've got to count about 200 channels with just sports on them.
Right. I mean, it's ludicrous, you know, to think that you're getting all these stations because it's a package deal that you're never going to watch. And now with this new, you know, mindset is you're going to pick, you're going to be a la carte. You're going to be able to pick, listen, I'm a fan of wrestling, I'm going to sign up for the WWE network. I'm a fan of MLB, I'm going to sign up for their streaming service. So you're only going to pay for something that you're interested in. You're not going to have to pay for this whole big bundle that, you know, 70, 80% you don't care about. You're not going to want to watch. You know, so now you're going to be able to a la carte pick and choose the services that you want.
Eventually, that's the way it's going to be.
It is the wave of the future.
You're only going to get on television the channels that you want.
Correct.
And that's it.
Right. And you know, and we all, it's a 24-hour world now. And you know, we all work different times, and you know, the DVR definitely has offset that a little bit. With you know, if you want to watch a certain show, you can watch it on the DVR. Now you can just go to your computer on demand, say, you know what, I want to watch this show right now.
I'll be honest, because at
3:21 in the afternoon, boom, I want it, and you got it.
As it is now, practically everything I watch on television was DVR'd because of my busy schedule. Right. So I'm never really watching anything that's on television as it's on television.
Correct.
Right.
Live programming is slowly going to become a thing of the past, and people are definitely going to want to watch, you know, what they want and when they want it and where they want to, because as we said, you know, you have your smartphone, you have your iPad or tablet, you know, whatever device that you have to watch content on, you're going to be able to get it 24/7, 365, wherever you want.
It's amazing, you know, this is, you know, we're on the verge of something very, very special you're going to see in the next few years. That's probably the way it is.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, WWE is ahead of the curve with the technology and making the launch of this network.
Yep. He's always, Vince McMahon is, you know, I put down the current administration in wrestling a lot, and this, you know, there's a lot of things I disagree with them doing, but this is one of the things I agree with. You know, he's very ahead of his time as far as, you know, he was ahead of his time when it came to WrestleMania 1 and the closed circuit television.
Yes.
You know, some say he's the inventor of pay-per-view. And in, you know, some respects, he put it on the market.
Yeah, he definitely made it a marketable thing. I mean, there were other events that, you know, the pay-per-view, it may not have had that moniker as pay-per-view. They had done events like that before, but I think that he brought it to a different scale and a different level. And, you know, a lot of people thought he was like very foolish for spending the money he did on buying out dying wrestling companies. And it turned out that he wasn't buying out the dying company, right, to own the talent. He was buying it out to own the content.
To own the content.
And now he's sitting on countless hours of content, And he's got a network that he doesn't have to spend any more money on to provide content.
Say what you want. Say what you want. WCW had a lot of content.
Yes, without a doubt.
Right.
Without a doubt. And ECW was on for, what, 16, you know, just shy of like 20 years, than ECW. So you got 20 years of a weekly show, monthly pay-per-views that you can show on the air. And the interest is definitely there. If you look at the Twitter accounts and the Facebook pages devoted to some of these classic stars, some of these classic wrestlers that you're going to be able to watch again. You know, you're going to be able to see them in their prime. You know, and you know, some of the guys that are out there, Steve Austin is still a huge media presence.
Absolutely.
You know, I talk about the Steve Austin show on a regular basis. And, you know, on Podcast One Network.
He had a lot of positive things to say.
Yeah.
They brought him out for this.
Right.
They don't really bring Steve Austin out too much.
Right. But, you know, he's still somebody that the fans are interested in, that Attitude Era. Right. Chris Jericho just started his own podcast.
Right.
On Podcast One. And he's the #1 podcast in North America for the past 3 weeks running. So Chris Jericho, who hasn't really been a major role in wrestling in quite a few years, still commands quite an audience. And you're going to be able to see his debut in WCW. You know, his run with the long hair and the ponytail.
His run in ECW.
Right, his run in ECW, correct. You know, and you know, there's still a huge amount of interest in the history and the past of pro wrestling, and Vince has it all.
Yep. Internationally now, this network, it's not going to be launching at the same time as it is here in the U.S. By the end of this year, early next year, 2015, it's scheduled to launch in the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong. I would have to think maybe the Philippines, that area too.
Right.
The Nordics, this is all by the end of this year, 2014, early next year, 2015. They probably just want to see how it works out here in the United
without
States.
a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're going to look at, you know, I think the number was 100,000 initially.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and the sky's the limit from there.
You know, there's a lot to be said now. I got numbers here from the New York Stock Exchange over the week.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about this now? Now, whether or not this network transforms WWE's business,
well, it
has. Probably going to.
Yes.
If you look at what is going on over the past week. Now, after the announcement at the Consumer Electronics Show last week, the market has shown the most confidence in WWE management in some time.
Yes.
Now, WWE stock hit a 52-week high. This was on a Friday of $17.22, but it did dip to $17.03 per share.
Yes.
National Alliance Securities, which is an equities research fund, upgraded their position on the stock from let's hold, let's see what happens, to buy, let's do it.
Yes, yes.
Right. I'm trying to sound like that Jim Cramer guy now. It's not really working. This reflects on how bullish the market is on WWE's business, though. NAS is projecting a target stock price of $20.46.
Yes, and it hasn't hit that in that price point since the Attitude Era.
No.
Since the heyday of the Austin McMahon.
Last time was 13 years ago, back in February of 2001. Yes, when the Attitude Era peaked.
Yep.
Right before WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
So might be a time to make some money.
Oh yeah, and you've seen me talk about the price of the stock for a good 6 months on this show now, and it's like you said, and it's reached an all-time high for quite some time.
We went from $15.90 a share on Monday. It went down a little bit to $15.55 by Wednesday. This was before the announcement.
Yes.
By Thursday it was $16.90, and then like I said, on Friday it went from $17.22. It did dip slightly.
Yeah, it closed at $17.03.
Right.
But yeah, as you said, they are predicting it to rise to over $20 in a relatively short time. And as I said before, if this launch on February 24th goes off without a hitch, right? The profitability of that company, all of those people, it's a guaranteed income. If they have 1 million subscribers from day one, that's $10 million a month, guaranteed revenue. We're not talking about anything else but subscription money. You know, on top of you know, the profitability. The current value of the WWE stock is 1.9 billion, or excuse me, 1.3 billion. I stand corrected. 1.3 billion dollars, and it's going to go up from there. So we have Mr. Dacey on the line. Let's find out what the.
Hello,
Mr. Dacey.
Are you okay, sir?
I don't know. I'm in a dark location. I don't know where I am.
You all right?
I don't know. Did you hear that?
No.
You okay?
We're waiting for you to do the show.
What
We
I
had to
heard
go
when I was abducted was follow the buzzards.
You want me to call the bureau?
I don't know. I just heard some noise in the background. See if you can hear this.
Oh, that sounds familiar, Mr. Dacey.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Is there a lantern anywhere near you?
I don't know. I'm in a dark room, but I don't know where I am.
You know what? Maybe you should have shaved that beard earlier.
I know.
You think they thought I was related to Daniel Bryan?
I think so.
I don't know.
But sorry I can't be there. I'll try to get out as soon as I can if I can find out where I am.
Well, we will send out a search party for Mr. Dacey. We will contact the authority.
Yes.
And we wish you well, Mr. Dacey.
Thank you. What do you guys got going on tonight?
We are talking about the launch of the WWE Network.
Yeah, we haven't really got into anything else yet. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to because there's so much to talk about concerning the network.
Right, and there's no bigger news this week.
Right.
I think I hear them coming, so I'm going to have to hang up quick.
All right, Mr. Dacey.
Okay.
Keep us posted.
Keep us posted.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Now, I hope he'll be all right, definitely.
Yeah, we wish Mr. Dacey the best. We will contact the authorities as soon as we go off the air.
I mean,
And,
that's a place to call to that Australian spy that I know. Maybe we could get him out of this predicament that he's in.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyhow, getting back to the reality of the WWE becoming an even bigger company than they already are, and after the announcement, they are, I guess some people, I mean, everybody's excited about it, but I guess there's one group of people that aren't so excited about it.
And that is?
And that is DirecTV. They're the first major pay-per-view carrier which has offered a response to WWE their announcement of the network. They said they are going to, and I quote, quickly reevaluate their business relationship with WWE, including potentially dropping distribution of the 55 to 65. Well, I don't really think I should be saying that.
Right.
Excuse me. The pricing they agreed upon for the events for their pay-per-views. DirecTV also took a dig at WWE's dealing buy rates, saying the audience has been. This is according to DirecTV. The audience has been steadily declining, and that the network's low-cost offering would only accelerate the trend.
Oh, I
really
wholeheartedly disagree.
It sounds like a company that's just, crying spilled milk, crying foul. Oh, poor me, poor us.
Yes.
How could
DirecTV is not going to carry WrestleMania. What a way to drive more people to the subscription service.
Right. You don't want to carry the pay-per-views anymore than
you're slitting your own throat.
Exactly.
I mean, here it is. Vince McMahon gives you this content which you share a profitability in, and all you have to do is deliver it to your subscribers.
Now, WWE did make a statement that they hope to continue to be in business with their pay-per-view distributors so that, you could have a choice between the network and your cable, satellite, whatever providers. depending on your situation.
Yes.
Right. Because, I mean, there might be a situation where maybe you will only order one pay-per-view a year, and that's it. And maybe it would be just cheaper for you to just stay with that.
Right.
But,
and there are the casual fans that just want to see maybe the WrestleMania, maybe the Royal Rumble, and what have you, and would do that, you know, that buy on, you know, your conventional cable network.
Exactly.
But they're, you know, the hardcore fans and, you know, the WWE fans mostly, you know, are hardcore, are the guys that watch it every week, are the guys that follow it. You know, John Cena is one of the most followed people on Twitter. You know, the WWE Network, you know, whether, you know, you like it or not, the social media numbers do not lie. The Rock is, you know, he's got one of the biggest followings on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. And, you know, you can pick out a handful of the WWE stars. Right, so the fan base is definitely there. The fan base is definitely loyal and rabid and ready to dive in for this low amount of money per month to be able to have access to that content 24 hours a day.
They know how to use social media to their advantage, like all these stars that you're seeing. So I mean, right, and it's heavily advertised on social media.
Yeah.
This.
It's you know, I can't say it enough. It is a game changer.
It's going to be.
The biggest thing that's going to come out of this is they're going to run NXT on Thursday night against TNA.
Right.
Now, if you go to our Facebook group, the Squared Circle, you can see that we posted a picture of TNA at a high school gym with like 100 people in attendance.
Oh, you know, I was planning to do it a little later, but you think I should just get to the worst of the week now then?
Go to the worst of the week.
Why don't we just do the worst of the week now?
Go to it.
You know, I was going to do it in 15 minutes, but that's okay. I think John, you know, I think that John brought it up here, so we're going to do it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, the first, the bronze statue goes to DirecTV, like we said.
Yes.
You want to discontinue your relationship with the WWE, a relationship that you've had for years and years, and I don't know how many decades now. Yep. Well, you know what? Go ahead and do that because you're going to be the ones that are going to be losing out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So that's the bronze. Okay. Now the runner-up. Where am I here in my notes? Okay, the runner-up. TNA has decided to sign a multi-year extension with Challenge TV to continue airing their TV programming in the United Kingdom market. And under the new agreement, Challenge will show more wrestling program than ever before to viewers in the UK and Ireland. This is according to a report from cablecompany.uk. This includes live coverage from TNA's annual European tour at the end of January. So runner-up could be either Challenge TV or TNA, however you want to look at it.
Right.
They're a little more worried about going to Europe and touring to the 600 or 700 people that might care about them over there.
No, actually, you know, their popularity, we discussed this before here, the popularity of TNA in the European market is much larger than it is here in North American market, primarily because TNA is seen on what we would call your basic package for your cable TV. They are included in your basic cable package, whereas in the European market, the WWE, the stations that carry WWE in the European market are on a higher priced, the next tier package. So fewer people subscribe to that package in the European market to be able to watch WWE. So your, let's see, your basic fan base that doesn't want to pay a higher premium to get, you know, that next level of programming, the only wrestling that they have available as far as, you know, free to them is the TNA product, which explains why TNA is so much more popular in the European market. And when they go over there and they do live events, right, they're more known, you know, the people that, the talent that's on TNA, than some of the guys that are currently in the WWE. But that being said, once this WWE Network hits the European market at a smaller price point than jumping up to that next level package on terrestrial cable, it's going to be a game changer.
It's going to be a game changer,
So,
and you know, with the game changing, and they're, you know,
in the short term, it's a positive thing for TNA to renegotiate a multi-year contract with Challenge TV, because that is where the bulk of their popularity lies at this time.
At this time, and you know, they are concentrating on that, John. But the thing of it is, there's so many other problems with TNA.
Well, yeah.
Writing-wise, talent-wise, management-wise, budget-wise. Maybe it'll be lucrative in Europe, but I mean, imagine how much more lucrative it could be if things were just being run the right way.
Yeah.
And here we go. They're gonna get 2 awards. They're gonna get the runner-up, and unfortunately for them, they're gonna get the worst of the week because. Like you said, there's a picture, and I want everybody to take a close look after. If you're part of the closed group, our Facebook page, if you've seen our fan page and liked it, you're going to see a very disturbing photo of a TNA house show, and it's disturbing enough that TNA, the second largest company here in the United States, is doing a house show at a high school gym. Now, you would think the second largest company, number 2 to the WWE, wanting to do a house show in a high school gym, you know, be like, well, I think the fire department should be notified. I mean, they're not. How are they going to do that? I mean, you know, maybe outside, but you're going to do it inside a high school gym here in some town in Tennessee, suburb of Nashville, or wherever they were.
Yep.
And you'd think they'd be over capacity, fire code violation.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be, you know, let's close this thing down right away. But you're not going to, the thought is you don't want to close that card down right away because there's too many people there. You want to close it down because there's not enough people in there.
Right, right. Hey, we got Mr. Ed McCarver on the line. Let's see what he has to weigh in on.
Okay.
Mr. McCarver.
Mr. McCarver.
I thought the big announcement was going to be that Vince McMahon was going to bring back the XFL. I was looking forward to.
Well, we know the XFL could beat the Jets.
Oh, never mind. Although they probably could. So, but you never know. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
And I tuned in late. Where's the Thunderous one?
The Thunderous one, we think, has been abducted by the Wyatt family. We can neither confirm nor deny that, but it just seems that he just called in, and he's in a dark place, and he doesn't know how to get out of.
And he doesn't know where he is, and you know, he doesn't remember how he got there or anything, and I'm a little concerned for his health.
If I know Tom, I'm sure he called collect, but call his friend Eric Schrader. He knows how to get him out of tight places.
Well, you know, as far as that collect call goes, we're making enough money off the WWE stock right now that we can afford to take that call.
You know, it would be nice. I did hear you talk about it a little bit. It would be nice maybe if they threw in a couple of pay-per-view boxing matches along with those wrestling matches. I might be tempted to buy it myself.
Well, they do have Mike Tyson in the WWE Hall of Fame, so they could negotiate with him for some of his footage.
Exactly.
Oh, well.
And Florence Mayweather.
More of Pacquiao or Mayweather or, you know, any Manny, Miguel Cotto and some other.
Yeah.
Mayweather did do a WrestleMania, and he did box the Big Show, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Right.
I do remember that years ago. The only other thing I wanted to mention, there was quite a bit of press, and I'm sure you gentlemen heard about it. Ric Flair kind of made a lot of headlines this weekend. With,
yes, he did.
With the San Francisco 49ers and the Carolina Panthers. I guess he spoke to, I think it was the 49ers?
Yes, he did, yeah.
And they were talking about it on some of the mainstream sports shows. So it's
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, and I mean, it got so crazy as to people were giving death threats to Ric Flair.
Really?
Yeah. For, you know, he gave a pep talk for the San Francisco 49ers for whatever reason, for his own, you know,
They requested him, I understand.
Yeah, and he gave him a pep talk, and I'm sure he collected his fee for it. And we know Ric Flair is styling and profiling and spending money like water. So, you know, hey, he showed up.
He's originally from Carolina, somebody was saying.
Correct, right. And he's a native of Carolina, and, you know, the people from that area got offended by it because he, you know, wasn't supporting the hometown team.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If the hometown team had written him a larger check than the 49ers, I'm sure he would have showed up for that.
Exactly.
True, but it was good to see. It was good to see him get some news. One last thing for me, Jay. The first 5K race of the season coming up on Super Bowl Sunday in New Haven.
I see.
It's the 5K run for the refugees. It's up. I think it's East Rock Mountain behind Wilbercross High School.
Are there any members of the Jets football team going to be there? Because we know they're not going to the Super Bowl.
I never mind, but I believe Rex Ryan is one of the Hills, so you may have to climb up him. So, all right, gentlemen, that's all for me tonight. Good show.
Thank you very much, Ed.
Thank you very much, Ed.
Bye.
Ed McCarver, always a pleasure talking to him.
Yes. Hey, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just finishing up on my point about you know, they couldn't even fill out a high school gym.
Yeah.
We have, and this is, you know, guys in the indie scene, you're doing a great job because now you have a lot of attendance there in those high school. Well, they don't even really play at high school gyms. They play at Boys and Girls Club. But they have more attendance because of, you know, with our friends at PWA, RWE.
Right. Yeah, NEW this weekend, Saturday, is going to be at the Bethany Town Hall when they'll have more in attendance. I guarantee you they'll have more in attendance than TNA had at this house show.
At this house show at this high school gym. Like I said, you could check out the pic of this high school gym. I was probably over the weekend or the weekend before that. No, they're more worried about, you know, other things. You know, they need to worry about their talent.
TNA's in a death spiral,
right?
And you know, I think come next month, Vince is really going to put the nail in the coffin.
Dixie, if you really want to go out there and look at fresh talent, you really have to do it now.
Yes.
Don't just be talking about it on social media. Actually go out and do it.
Yes.
You know, because if not, maybe she ought to be the next one to be released, or the marketing department, promotional department, writing staff, I don't know, but TNA, you can't even fill a high school gym. You're the worst of the week.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and while you're at our Facebook group, I posted a link to a website, slam.canoe, and it's Slam Sports, and they're out of Canada, actually. And they wrote about the WWE Network, and if I can just read what they wrote, and I give them full credit. If you go on our Facebook page, you can see what they had to say. But to call World Wrestling Entertainment's unveiling of its WWE Network earlier this week a game changer is a gross understatement. In fact, even attempting to wrap one's mind around what the company has just done is nearly impossible. My expectations were blown out of the water. Consider the price. The price tag is in exactly the range where we all thought it would be. Right, around the same price that a subscription to Netflix would be, and it's less than Sirius XM radio. It's less than a monthly subscription to XM. Right, and compared to a decent movie package on your cable or satellite dish provider, right, is more than double of what the WWE is charging. Right. The cost of the WWE Network is affordable enough for nearly everyone to justify. Right? Don't think anyone envisioned, right, the planet, anyone on the planet envisions WWE practically opening up its entire universe to subscribers for this low price. There was speculation that not all of its signature pay-per-views would be offered on the network, or that there might be scaled pricing for more or less access to content. Ever the innovator and always brash, WWE chairman and CEO Vince McMahon just set the bar for internet-based programming for now and forever. Just as he changed pro wrestling from a territorial, moderately successful industry to a worldwide, multi-billion-dollar phenomenon, McMahon's brash unveiling of the WWE Network is now the standard by which all future networks will be judged. Think about it. Vince McMahon and WWE just took literally every asset the company possesses, bundled it all together in one place, which they own, and are offering people access to it 24/7, 365 for that low monthly rate. In one swift move, the WWE has just appealed to every wrestling fan, past, present, and future. Fans of the current product get more access to the superstars and product they love. Fans of WCW, ECW, and WWE programming of yesteryear now have somewhere to relive those companies and eras. It's a bold move with potentially monstrous payoff and very little downside. Much has been made of the decision to include all of the WWE pay-per-views, including the signature WrestleMania. Traditionally, pay-per-views have been offered through cable and satellite providers and online in a deal that sees WWE share revenue from those events with the provider. Under that formula, which remains in place as the WWE Network would only be available in the United States for the foreseeable future, pay-per-view buys dictate the level of success of the events. A couple 100,000 pay-per-view buys at the current rate, 12 times a year, and then shared 50-50 with the cable provider was a big part of the WWE's bottom line each year. WrestleMania, of course, is always a much bigger draw. So the decision to offer pay-per-views in the WWE Network program was clearly one that wasn't taken lightly. Think about the upside. Once WWE Network launches worldwide, either later this year or early in 2015, as you mentioned, the world is Vince McMahon's oyster. All the decades of hard work, rigorous travel to every corner of this planet, the meet and greets, the main events, the autographs, all of that suddenly has the potential to pay huge dividends. Where a typical pay-per-view might see a couple 100,000 sets of eyes, a subscription to the WWE Network could yield millions, even tens of millions of sets of eyes. Not only is the subscriber getting a roughly 75% reduction in the price of pay-per-views, but full access to virtually every episode of wrestling ever. Original programming, reality TV, current programming, and more. I don't think it's unreasonable to imagine that 50 million or more people around the globe will subscribe to WWE Network when it becomes widely available. The network will appeal to the hardcore fan, the fan yearning to return to the Hulkamania era, those with a hankering to rewatch the Attitude Era, those wanting to relive the ECW or WCW era, those interested in the original program, and even those who just want to watch the pay-per-views or check it out. That is why Vince McMahon remains an innovator, and that is why the WWE is the dominant force in not only sports entertainment, but entertainment and sports. I wish I had written that article.
Really? I know.
I mean,
that's an amazing
it's
article.
phenomenal.
I read that for the first time this morning.
It is phenomenal.
You know, the reviews are out there. I'm sure there's a lot more reviews about this that you can check out on the internet.
But, you know, I think
nothing but positive feedback so far.
Our friends over at Canoe Slam, and I urge you to check out their website. They have a great amount of content. I'm a huge fan of their site. They have the obituaries for nearly every wrestler that has passed away in the past 30 years from their local hometown paper.
Wow.
Fans around the globe scan them in and get them to this site. So if you want to see the obits for, you know, anybody that's died in the past 30 or so years, they have them there. They have current content. They have a lot of information on the independent scene, and it's just a great website to go to. And talking about obits, Mae Young is not dead. Contrary to many reports, Mae Young has been taken off life support, but she has not passed away as of yet. We wish her all the health in the world, but I mean, at this point, it doesn't look good.
No.
And it's inevitable that it will happen.
It doesn't
contrary
make any sense
to reports,
why somebody would put that on. You know,
right,
some people, their minds just aren't with it.
Well,
you know?
I mean, we have this with the celebrity every now and then. It goes around that so and so was in a skiing accident and passed away, and it's you know, it's a hoax.
I don't know how many times John Cena is. You know, you would think he was a soap character.
Right.
Seriously, I don't know. But anyway, probably should talk briefly about Raw. We don't really have too much time. I'll give you a little preview of what's going to be going on Raw tonight. This week's episode will be a bridge episode. They're not going to be playing bridge. They're not going to be wrestling on the George Washington Bridge. But it's going to be a bridge from last week's Old School Raw to next week's lead-in show for the Royal Rumble. Top match advertised in advance is Daniel Bryan teaming up with Bray Wyatt versus the Usos over the weekend at house shows. Bryan was being beaten down by the Wyatts, and the Usos would be coming to his defense, only for Bryan to turn on the Usos and aid and abet the Wyatt family in an attack on the Usos. So this is going to, you know, that's the whole story behind the tag match this evening. But the main focal point is going to be concerning the WWE title and the feud between Randy Orton and John Cena. They will face off at the Rumble pay-per-view in a couple of weeks. Also, next week on Raw is the return of the Animal, Batista.
Yes, Dave Batista.
Dave Batista. Haven't seen him in a while. Looking forward to it. They'll also talk about the Royal Rumble match itself. Another match added for the Royal Rumble. The return of the Brock Lesnar Big Show feud.
Yeah.
Now, I only want to see that they break the ring again. They got to break the ring again.
That may happen.
You know, this time I think they ought to go through the floor into the ice. That's what I want to see. So that they're going to be fighting each other at the Royal Rumble in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Lesnar is not advertised for this evening though, but they will be discussing it. Advertised tonight: Randy Orton, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, the Wyatts, the Shield, CM Punk, the Big Show, Booker T, and the authority of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
Yes.
And they'll be doing it from Providence, Rhode Island, right up the road from us on 95.
Yep.
Advertised for the crowd in Providence will be the usual: Orton versus Cena for WWE title.
Yep.
Which you can only, at least for now, see at the arena, but probably after the 24th, you'll be able to see it right on the internet.
Yes.
Right on the WWE network.
And, you know, I'm really curious to see, right, the gentleman that's been opening up our show for the last few weeks now, Mario Mancini. Is he going to make an appearance on that WWE network?
You probably will.
Mr. Mancini, I can't wait to see you, brother.
More likely than not.
Yeah, a friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and of course, you know, our former guest Devon in the ECW days. You're going to see a lot more of him around.
I think so.
You know, which maybe this is what he was hinting at when we showed our exclusive interview with Devon and our reporter Aubrey St. John.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you heard a little rumor here first from Devon himself that you're going to see a lot more of him. And with ECW being available on the air 24/7, you will see a lot more of Mr. Devon.
He and Bully Ray, Bubba Ray at the time, were a big part of ECW.
Absolutely, and that was an exclusive. You got to hear from our wonderful friend Aubrey St. John.
Yeah, and look at all the matches that Jim Ross commentated over the years. You'll be able to see more of him too.
Yeah.
Even though he's also going to be working on a Paul Heyman DVD project.
Yes.
Coming up. So, the Paul Heyman collection, is that what they're trying to do? I don't know.
You know what? I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's annoying. He's a pain sometimes, but, you know, he's one of the best managers that wrestling has ever seen.
Not only one of the best managers, what people really don't realize, unless you're really a hardcore fan, is he wrote a lot of what happened, you know, during, right after the ECW was purchased by WWE. Paulie Dangerously, Paul Heyman, was brought in, and he wrote a lot of what happened during that Attitude Era. During the era, you know, right after, like I said, ECW was purchased, you know, Paul Heyman had a job at WWE behind the scenes. So obviously he was writing a lot of what was
called upon from time to time.
Yes, a lot of what was happening at ECW was responsible, was courtesy of Mr. Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
One of the better wrestling minds, one of the better talkers in the business, and definitely an asset. And I'm really excited to see this DVD. And we got about 5 minutes to go. Is there something that we didn't cover tonight?
Just about Jim Ross. He's going to be working on the DVD. He's also he's going to be signing a deal with Fox Sports. He did a little blog about what wrestling would do in this situation involving Flair and the 49ers, and the Panthers. That's basically about it there. But Something I think we should clear up right now.
Yes.
As far as I know right now, I mean, this could be misinformation too, but I'm just gonna go with it. Ryback did appear at a house show Saturday night in Buffalo, and then afterwards he sent out a tweet. I don't know if it was this past Saturday or the Saturday before that. He was in Buffalo, but he sent out a tweet after that saying he was, quote, released, unquote. But this was an actual reference to himself being pulled over by a Buffalo police officer.
I think that's backpedaling on his part. I mean, he put out quite a few tweets, and he was ranting about being let go and released, and then he deleted those tweets right away. Ryback recently re-injured Mr. Dolph Ziggler during a match in a botched spot, and you know, it's not the first person he's injured, and you know, it's widely known that he's not Mr. Popular in the locker room. No. And
doesn't seem like a very friendly guy at all. Yeah. It just seems like he wants.
Yeah, when he does personal appearances, he's miserable to be there. You know, you're out there, you know, representing a global company, and you're going to act like a jerk to your fans. Yeah, and I understand that you're a heel persona, but that's, you know, not what they hired you to do on that particular day, at that particular time.
You're the heel when you come out into the crowd and you're going to the ring, but when you're doing
there
PR
to shake hands and sign autographs, you got to be, you know, gracious to.
You put a smile on your face, you know. Period.
You know, if you can't fake the funk for a couple of hours, then you're in the wrong business.
Exactly.
You know, especially when it's a paid appearance. You know, if you're sitting at a diner having dinner and somebody approaches you, I can see you being a little put off. But hey, you're at an event where people are you know, coming and giving you money to meet you and get your autograph. If you can't be nice to them, then you don't belong in the business.
You just don't belong.
And you know what? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you ride back no more.
But you know, we'll probably find out a little more about this tonight, if this is a real thing or not. But according to him, he was pulled over. The cop thought that he was talking on a cell phone when in actuality he was playing with his GPS.
Right.
But you know, that's the report that I looked at earlier today. So that's just, you know, from the source that I looked up info on. Pro Wrestling Torch, by the way.
I'm sure we'll find out more about Mr. Ryback. We got 2 minutes left. We may have to change our time with the WWE Network doing a pre-show for Raw. I mean, we're basically the pre-show for Raw at the moment. And now we're going to have to get bumped.
Raw is the post-show for us.
Correct. And we may have to get bumped. So we're going to have to put our heads together and negotiate with the network here and see. We may have to move ourselves around a little bit.
Move ourselves a little earlier, but perhaps a different day.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah. So we shall see. Or maybe we can do a pre-tape and then and run it all week.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a life-changing event, February 24th, for everyone in the wrestling community.
For everyone.
And who knows, with you know, all that's going on, it may open up some more time for some of the local guys to get on some WWE programming. You may have to sign more talent.
May have to.
But we got 30 seconds left. Hollywood Jay, I'm excited. It's been a
great show. I'm excited about this. Definitely, you can send us a message on our fan page, like page, if you have any more questions concerning the network. But for now, I'm Hollywood J. Williams.
And I am John Zimmerman, here with Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter, and Freddie Blassie.
Definitely.
You know, the fans just keep sending me the swag. Keep sending it in. Love it, love it, love it.
Love it, love it, love it. Good night and good luck.
Good night.